Uh, we adopt the minutes. Do I hear it? Yay?
I make a motion to adopt the minutes.
Yes.
I'll second that motion.
Okay.
And
Adoption of the minutes.
the agenda.
We did the agenda, didn't we? Adoption of the agenda. Didn't April move to accept?
I think we said minutes first.
Okay, well, all right.
Yeah.
Agenda now. Agenda. I can barely.
Wait, I guess, is it just, I guess we don't have quorum. Is that okay?
We have, who's it? Who did?
We technically have quorum, because it's four of us are on.
Oh,
Correct.
okay, okay.
Correct.
So then
And-
I make a motion to adopt the agenda as well.
And
Okay.
I'll second that.
Okay, so the presentation, Brad.
Yes. So, hello, everyone. Hi, Reverend Thomas. It's been a
Hey,
while.
Brad, how are you? Good to see you.
Good to see you. Yes. It's been a while. Before I get into it, I just wanted to point out that the first time I came in front of Community Board 9 was in 2005, and I was terrified. I came to the Transportation Uniform Services Committee, and Carolyn Thompson was the chair of the committee.
Wow.
That's true.
Yes,
That's true.
It was about
2004?
2005, I think it was. It was the start of the farmers market.
Yeah.
In
Okay.
Morningside Park, and then it was a couple of years later that I joined the board. So I'm here just because we have this amazing concession that's finally getting going in Morningside Park, a cafe on the plaza level at 112th Street. Now, some of us old timers may remember that decades ago, I think about 20 years ago, there was a cafe there called the Muscuda Cafe, and it only it only lasted for one season. But it's been a long process. But we're joined by the concessionaire this time around, Michael Somerville, Crabman Mike.
Hey everybody, good evening. Good to see you.
Good
Good to see everybody.
So we're just really excited to be here together to talk to you all, and Mike can tell you about what his plans are, but he's really here because he's going to need a liquor license.
Okay.
He's starting that process now.
Oh, okay.
Hey everyone, my name is Michael Somerville.
Good evening.
Good evening. I'm the concessionaire at the Morningside Park Cafe. I'm a firefighter for Rescue Company 1, also EMT. I just want to continue the legacy that my father started with his operation for his Cajun seafood boil. He was on 125th Street for 30 years, and he kind of took a back seat from the operation, and I just want to move it forward, for decades to come. So, obviously with the help of the Friends of Morningside Park, the community board, the community, I hope for a successful operation and a family-oriented operation. And I would just like to apply for the liquor license so I can complement the menu items for the food.
Is this the first time that you're applying?
Yes, this will be my first time.
All right. What do you intend to have with your life? Is it going to be music by, how they do the elevator music? Okay, it's not a live band.
No.
Okay. And you'll be
No,
serving what?
Just something to complement the menu items. It's gonna be crab, shrimp, mussels, Cajun seafood boils. Gonna also be chicken fingers, fries, maybe small salads. That's all.
Okay. Your liquor, part your liquor, is that wine, cider, beer, and liquor?
Just beer, wine, and cider. No liquor. No hard liquor.
Beer, wine. Okay. And you've already started the process?
No, I wanted to formally introduce myself to your team before I started the process.
Okay. Well, I think you should go forward with it. And what you're telling me now, I don't see a problem with it. Once I get the application, I will send it back. I'll send it over to your 12 feet to 26 Springs. Once they approve it, I approve it. You're good to go.
Thank you so much. Do you prefer I hand deliver it or email it? What's your preference?
But the liquor license,
Well, the 30-day notice for the community board.
oh, the 30-day notice, yeah, you got to send it to the board. They'll send it to me. And I'll,
Okay.
okay.
You can bring it by
Carolyn, I think,
the district office.
Yeah, you
Okay,
send it to
great.
the district office, right, right.
Okay, thank you. I'll
You got a
start working
question,
on that.
Georgette?
well, I was just about to say, I think that we should let it be reflected in our,
Well, I was
there's no
gonna do that.
opposition.
No,
I'm
I was
sorry,
gonna
you-
do that anyway,
broke
but
up,
I
miss.
wanted
I'm
to
sorry.
understand what he said.
That's
and how
okay. I
all the-
just wanted to say that there's no opposition and we want it to be reflected in our minutes so that, that would support your application.
Thank
Right,
you
which
so
I
much.
was-
That's very well
Right, which I
appreciated.
was
Thank
gonna
you.
do anyway to see each committee member, what their thoughts were on it, April or,
Where exactly? So it's is it by those comfort stations that are across the from the
Ball field?
basketball court in the field?
Yeah, 112 in
Oh.
Manhattan Avenue. That's the closest intersection. So it's going to be on the terrace of the service building. So the terrace is going to house the kiosk, and then below is the bathrooms and the parks manager office.
Oh, I know
What?
exactly. What you're
yeah, I
talking
know where that is, yeah.
Yeah.
Solomon, your thoughts?
I have no objection. I think it's great.
And
Thank
those
you.
are like picnic
Looking forward to it.
tables. They'll be-
Yeah, tables, chairs, umbrellas. That's going to be stored at the end of each day.
And
It's
Georgette, you said you had no objection, Georgette?
None. Yeah, I think it's a great enhancement of the current usage.
Yeah, I agree. I have no objection at all, Mr. Somerville.
Thank you so
Brad-
much. I appreciate your
And-
time.
As
Oh,
Brad said,
oh,
Brad
I do
knows
have
me.
I have one question, Brad. The Parks Department will be prepared to like make sure that there won't be like a lot of refuse or anything. They'll make sure that they'll be able to serve the concession area properly to, get rid of any trash or anything that might be, I don't know, that might be
That's
collected.
I think that's DOT that in terms of trash, okay? You deal, Brad, does he deal with the Parks Department as well?
Yeah, so I think Michael, under his contract, is responsible for some of the trash, right around his
Yeah,
area.
I'm responsible for the removal of the trash. I have to get a private carter,
Oh, okay.
so
Okay.
it'll be removed at the end of each day.
Okay,
Michael, could you just clarify also that this is not open late, right? You're just open.
No, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m.
oh, that's what my
seasonal
next
oper-
question was gonna be.
Yeah, it's gonna be a seasonal operation from around March, April through October. So it's not gonna be open late. It's not meant to be a party spot. It's just something to complement the food, the food menu, and just something for the park patrons, to have something to relax when they're in Morningside Park. That's all.
So you're
Absolutely.
open from 11 a.m. to what's your closing time?
9 p.m.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the park closes at 10 p.m.
Oh, got it. Okay, got it. Are
I'm
there any
excited
other-
to be able to eat some food while I watch the ducks in the pond. I'm very excited.
Right,
Can't wait to
exactly,
serve everybody. I can't wait to serve you.
exactly. I can't wait to go because I love seafood.
Oh, you're gonna love it.
Yeah, I love seafood.
And
Are there any other questions?
firefighters are the best cooks too.
That's very true. That's very true.
Thank you.
Are you still working as a firefighter?
Yes, I'm still currently an active member of the Yonkers Fire Department Rescue Company 1.
Oh, how do you handle that? Putting out
it's good.
fires, racing into fires, and cooking food at the same time?
The
It
schedule is
must be-
very flexible. It's flexible, so I'll be able to manage.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, are there any other questions for Mr. Somerville? No questions? Brother Brad, you had anything else to say?
No, thank you all very much. Again, it's great to be here. It's great to
That's
welcome
great.
Michael to the park.
Thanks again, Brad.
Monique,
Thanks everybody for your help.
a board member of ours, Monique Harding, was thanking you for your opening of this restaurant. Okay, so you got a lot of people that's gonna come and eat.
I'm looking forward to serving everybody. Everybody's welcome.
Yeah, I will
Okay.
say that whenever we post about the cafe on our social media, there's a lot of response. Everyone's like, "Oh, I can't wait! I can't wait!" So I think it's going to be a great success.
I can't wait either. Send me a special invitation so I can
Absolutely.
let my members know that we're coming.
Of course.
Okay. So April and I and Georgette and Solomon, we all come together for this seafood.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a great time. Thanks.
Okay, you're quite welcome. As I said, when you put that 30-day in, they'll let me know and then it'll get back to you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Thompson. I appreciate it.
You're quite welcome. You're quite welcome. Heather, you had a question? You're muted, Heather. Let me see what's there. Lyle, are you there? Lyle?
I'm here. Hold on for 1 second.
Okay.
Carolyn, I have a quick
Yes.
question. Sorry,
Okay.
because I was late. I apologize.
That's
Will
okay.
there, I assume if they came in before your committee, there will be, will there be alcoholic beverages served?
Beer, wine, and cider.
Okay,
Yeah, one side. No hard liquor. I
It's
want
not
to keep
hard
it
liquor.
family friendly.
That's the
No.
right. That's the first question I asked him. A lot of the restaurants that for liquor license, they ask for beer, wine, cider, and liquor. He's not asking for liquor. He's just asking for beer, wine, and cider, which is
okay,
appropriate on most liquor licenses.
okay, thank you, Carolyn.
You're welcome. Lyle, you up again?
Thanks, Carolyn.
You're welcome.
Everyone, Lyle Blacker from DOT. Just a few quick updates for everyone. First, it's in regards to their permanent guidelines for open restaurants, which is now officially called Dining Out NYC. Those guidelines are now available online. They were finally approved by the city council. The permanent rules are somewhat different from the temporary ones, but if you're interested, you can see them for yourself on our website. The website is diningoutnyc.info. I'll put the link in the chat so you can check it out for yourself. Second, our million servicing schedule is about to begin. We'll be starting in Lower Manhattan beginning next week and should be in Northern Manhattan sometime later in the season. As always, DOT will reach out to the community board to advise when we'll be up here and on which streets in the district will be. Our season usually goes from mid-March through the end of October, weather permitting. And again, if there are any locations you'd like for DOT to mill and resurface, please let me or the agency know, and we'll see if we can add it to this year's list. And one last thing, I had mentioned this in the conversation I had with Caroline earlier this week, but just for everyone else, in regards to Heather's request in regards to the sidewalk conditions by St. Nicholas Avenue, I've sent your concerns over to my colleagues in our sidewalk inspection division in DOT for their review. I'm not sure when they'll get back to you, but you should be hearing back from DOT at some point with the response one way or the other. And as information comes in, I'll pass it along to you.
Okay, Lyle, which one is that?
That's in regards to the sidewalk grading concerns on St. Nicholas by 147.
Right. That's Heather's question.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
Our inspection division is looking at that now, so it's under review with DOT. So once there's more information to pass along, we will do so. But just wanted to let you know that it is under review currently, and we'll be in touch.
Okay. I have another question on that. What about the I lost my train of thought. I'll come back to you because I lost my train of thought. Oh, the sheds. Okay, the open restaurant sheds, are they still removing those that are not being used?
Any abandoned structures, I think, are removed by sanitation in conjunction with us. If there are locations where there are abandoned roadbed structures, you can pass it along to DOT. One of the things that is different as far as the permanent guidelines for Dining Out NYC is that there are new setup rules for the roadbed structures. So they won't be on the street, for the entire year. They have to follow seasonal guidelines, that sort of thing. But all of the information's on the website, but yeah.
So in other words, they're not taking up the street parking, okay? They're not going to be up all year. So that means they're only up for how long? Just the summer months?
Well, the season for dining at NYC would be through, I think, the end of October, I want to say. So I think from March through October, this season would run.
Oh,
But
that makes sense.
I can put the link in the chat, and all those questions should be answered for you there.
All right. Or you can send it to me because you know me and the chat don't work.
No problem.
Carolyn, Monique has her hand raised.
Oh, I say that. Yeah, Monique. You're muted.
Yes, thank you, chairs. Two questions, one for Lyle. Lyle, you mentioned that the first thing you said was that any complaints that we brought to your attention, they've been passed on to be further addressed to DOT. I know Heather had one complaint, and then Heather and I had a second complaint, and that was regarding 146th Street and Convent Avenue. The sidewalk right in front of that Ma Bell building or Verizon building. Every time there's a heavy rain, water just literally sits there, and you can't use the ramp to go up that sidewalk to go up the block because it's flooded. So will anyone be addressing that problem? That's the first question. The second question is a follow-up to what Carolyn was asking you, our Chair Carolyn, and that is with the new rules pertaining to the sheds, which have a limited amount of time that they will be up. What are you doing to enforce that there is proper maintenance of those sheds so that there isn't garbage gathering around the outside or inside for that matter, so that we can reduce the presence of rodents that might be tempted because of the presence of the newly established sheds? Thank you.
One of the
No.
questions, Monique, Lyle answered the first one about the water on 147 where the Verizon old building was. He
Well,
addressed that.
you said
Yeah, what
147th,
Right. He
146.
addressed that question that there's a team going out there.
To
So I'll let
piggyback
him
on,
say it again. I'll let him repeat it.
yeah, and to piggyback, there the other location on Convent 146 that's also under review. I could remember on the top of my head as far as the second location, but that one also has been submitted for review too. So both locations should be inspected by our sidewalk division, and we'll get back to you on both.
Okay, I'm sorry then if I missed that, Carolyn.
That's
Apologies.
okay. No problem.
Mhm.
The second one,
Regarding-
Lyle, she's asking about the garbage and what DOT, is
Well,
doing in
getting
terms of
far-
monitoring, I guess, monitoring.
Well, yeah, as far as the structures that are in the roadway, DOT does have a team of inspectors that can go out in order to observe the conditions at any of the participating restaurants. So if there are any that are of concern, you can send them over to DOT, and we can send inspectors over there to make sure that everything's on the up and up as far as, if everything's up to date, with their structures, with all the policies and rules and guidelines. So yeah, we can follow up if need be on our end, as long as our inspectors are aware of any issues.
Okay. Any other questions for Lyle? No.
Lyle, I just had a question about
And you are, sir?
oh no, oh sorry, Felipe, did you have a question?
Yeah, but
I can wait until all the committee members
no,
go.
you can ask your question. You had a
Go ahead.
question for Lyle?
Okay. Hi, Lyle. I'm Felipe Castillo. I'm a resident of this community board. I wanted to follow up on a bunch of DOT requests that I've put in through, contact the commissioner. Mainly they are related to daylighting in the city. I was just wondering if there have been any like daylighting areas. I guess my first question would be like, have there been any intersections that have been identified as good candidates for daylighting in our community, in our area?
None that I know of as of now. Those are under review, also with my colleagues. I don't have a list of eligible locations, at least North Manhattan by now, but as they come out, we can definitely pass those along.
Okay. And then second question, there was a spatial equity report that came out recently, and West Harlem came out like pretty much dead last in terms of bus lane implementation. I was wondering if there are any active projects from DOT on putting in bus lanes in our district.
It's MTA.
Well, yeah, but it's in combination with DOT. So.
Will be in coordination with us. As of now, I don't think there are any bus lanes that I know of that would be coming to CB9 that I would know of. But if there were to be, definitely we would come before the committee and present so that the committee would be aware of anything that we do.
Okay, and lastly, this is my last question, and I'll be done. There used to be a bus service on Convent Avenue, the M18. Actually, Miss Carolyn Thompson was quoted in the New York Times in 1996 about the removal of it. There are bus stops on Convent Avenue that are former bus stops that used to be, used for the general public. Now they're only available as parking spots for motor vehicles. Is there any movement on converting those to either neighborhood loading zones or like bike racks or city bike stations so that more people can utilize what used to be former public bus stops into instead of 3 parking spots?
If there are certain locations that you'd like for DOT to review as far as potential neighborhood loading zones, you can definitely send those over, to me or to the agency. Anything in regards to bike racks we can install on the sidewalks, so we wouldn't ideally have to take any parking, unless it might be safe for a bike route request, but that would also be, subject to review as far as where that location would be potentially. I think you mentioned something else.
No, that's it. Or sorry, bike rack or a city bike station.
City bike station, I don't think we'd be installing any more uptown, at least as of right now. But if there are if there's a location or a few locations that you have in mind.
What they call infill stations.
Okay. Yeah, you can pass those along either to me or through the DOT website. And we can definitely get back to you on those considerations.
Okay, yeah, I dropped the recent correspondence in the chat for you there.
Felipe, do you have Mr. Blackwood's email address to email him the information?
I don't.
I can put that in the chat too, so.
I appreciate it, Lionel. Thank you so much. And thanks everybody else for yielding, for allowing me to speak.
The anti-bus, the M18 bus, which was removed back when, was removed because it's too narrow on Compton Avenue.
Sure, yeah.
There was a lot of complaints about it. So remember that you had the M18 and you still have the M3, but they moved that M18 because of the narrowing of Compton Avenue. The homeowners up there were not happy with the fact that buses were there. It created a problem, which they're not going to. They never put the bus back, and they're not going to put it back.
Sure. I just think the space could be better utilized. The curb space could be better utilized. If we're not bringing back the bus, that's okay.
Right.
There's the M3, there's the M101, but the curb space, belongs to everybody. So.
Well, until the MTA lets me know, I can't let anybody else know, but it's good to know. I could ask it when they come to the next meeting. I definitely will ask about it, and Lyle can put it in as well. Any other questions for Lyle?
Ms. Thompson, Mr. Taylor has a question.
Oh, I see his hand. Brad, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I think while I'm here, I wanted to ask Mr. Blackwood about the Plaza program that DOT has had in past years. Is that still active? There is a location adjacent to Morningside Park that I'm sure you know about, which is the triangle at 113th going towards 112th. It's called the Washington Lafayette Park, I guess. Which, and one of those, the dog leg there is actually redundant. So I'm just wondering whether that couldn't be captured as part of the park and in a plaza program.
Our Plaza program still is active. Like I said, I'm about to put my information in the chat, so if you could send me any information that you want, I can forward that to my colleagues. We can get back to them as well.
Thank you.
No problem.
Any other questions for Lyle? None being.
Lyle, I just wanted to make sure, I think last year you did a walkthrough with Yutha, our district manager. Are you going to do something similar again this year?
If you'd like.
On what though, Solomon?
I think
was the
it
walkthrough?
had to do with certain areas that needed the milling done,
Oh,
Yeah,
right,
resurfacing.
right.
Yeah, we went on a walkthrough of the neighborhood just to look at some locations. Yeah, we can do that again if you'd like. Absolutely.
Yeah, because I think I know that I think last year, that we had the district office had gotten complaints about certain problem areas, and I
It's right in front of
believe
the board office.
right.
Right, in front of the board
I
office.
believe that they've been collecting some newer locations that need attention. So I just want to make sure you reach out to Yutha about that.
Okay, sure. I know in some instances there might be utility work going on there. I think that was always happening on Broadway. I think kind of was doing some work around there for an extended period of time. But yeah, definitely if there are locations that you feel that DOT should address as far as milling and resurfacing, yeah, we can definitely put something on the calendar. Take a walk around and observe the conditions. It's no problem.
Yeah,
Thank you,
because
Lyle.
there's a lot of areas up on Broadway that definitely need to be addressed.
Yeah, we were talking about that last year, and
Right.
as far as I know, most of that much utility work that was taking place. So I'm not sure if that's still the case. I can check on my side just to see what's going on, in certain locations along Broadway and get back to you.
Okay.
Mhm.
That's right. Any other questions for Lyle? None being said. Officer Stumer,
Thanks, everyone.
you're welcome, Lyle. I'll talk with you. Officer Stumer, are you on?
Yes. Hi, everybody.
All right. My question to you is kind of long. Okay. So
I'm ready.
if you don't mind, can I do PSA 6 and then I'll come back because I have all the liquor licenses which mainly belong to you.
No worries.
All right. Officer Enteen or Officer Wilburn, either one of you. Officer Enteen, you're there?
Sorry, we're having a little difficulty.
Yes, okay. Okay.
Okay. Please just bear with me. Hi, everyone.
I'm sorry?
Just bear with me. We're hallway where there's the VOA and the smell is pretty bad.
Oh, you're still on duty outside.
Yeah, but I'm gonna read off the numbers for you guys.
Okay. If you have the breakdown of the stats, you can send them to me.
Yes.
Yeah, you can
Okay,
send them to me.
I came prepared.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, you can send them to me, and I will forward them to Solomon because Solomon is doing the minutes, so I'll forward them to him. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
I
I
know you're on
appreciate that.
duty.
Okay,
right.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Summer, you're back.
Oh, did Officer Etienne want to say anything?
No, she's on a case with a DOA.
Oh, okay.
So she just jumped on.
All right. So we'll let PSA 6 go in the 30th now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. All right.
Wait, Summer.
Good evening, everybody. P.O. Stumer from the 30th Precinct. Before I get my numbers off, I just want to say thank you to all that came out yesterday for our Coffee with a Cop event at Starbucks. We had a really nice turnout and, you know, a really good time from from Starbucks. They said they want to keep doing that in the future, so we're looking forward to that. As everybody knows, the New York State Police Department keeps track of numbers in a 28-day period. The 28-day period for this quarter, our murders are 0 versus last year 0. We have 0 rapes versus 1 last year, 9 robberies versus 10 last year, 13 felony assaults versus 16 last year, 5 burglaries versus 5 last year, 24 grand larcenies versus 20 last year, and 6 grand larceny of autos versus 6 last year, for a decrease in one crime. Just to kind of go over those numbers and bring them into a little, you know, perspective, where we're seeing obviously the increase is in our grand larcenies. Most of our grand larcenies are not street-based grand larcenies. They're mostly unattended property, whether it be through the mail, you know, someone leaving their property unattended. So, you know, we always recommend people that, you know, never leave your property unattended, even if it's for 30 seconds. You know, keep your stuff where it needs to be and in sight of you. It could be something as like you're on the train, put your bag on your lap, you know, just keep it in control of you, as we always say. Otherwise that, I have nothing else. If anyone has any questions for me.
Officers, go ahead, Carolyn.
You said, I'm sorry, you said the GLA is that, the unattended property? Or
No, it's
GLA?
different. That's a grand larceny of an auto vehicle. Most of our grand larcenies that we see in this area are, as of now, mostly moped, bike related. We thankfully, knock on wood, I don't want to jinx it, but a lot of our car theft is going down, and the ones that we are seeing right now are related to mopeds and bikes. And one more thing before I let everyone go. I guess because I haven't spoken since the last meeting. For all that don't know, we had a pretty serious fire on St. Nicholas Place. Thankfully, though, everybody who was displaced did find somewhere relocated by Red Cross. We were out there all night and through the coming days. The fire department did determine that it was caused by an e-battery. So we just want to remind everybody, you know, charge them safely, never plug them into a power strip. You know, make sure that if anybody who is charging them, they're charging it the right way and the safe way. The FDNY ended up sending one of their fire safety units out the next day to do a lot of education, which was really nice to see them out there. On our Twitter account, on the 30th Precinct, I've been posting a lot of e-bike safety. So, you know, it just, at the end of the day, you know, if you do have the e-bikes, you know, scooters, that you charge them the correct way, you're not using a third-party source. There's a rating, I don't have it in front of me, I probably should have. There's a rating that they recommend for all these batteries. That if you are buying one, that it has this certification that, God forbid, it doesn't overheat, that it's going to turn off automatically, and that it's not going to cause a fire. But UL tested. Thank you.
Officer Stummer, we have a firefighter with us tonight. Officer Michael Somerville.
How you doing, Mr. Stummer? Nice to meet you.
How's it going, sir?
Okay. My thing is down for you with the liquor license because we have plenty.
We have no objections to anybody on the list.
On all of them?
Yep, no objections at this time.
Oh, wonderful. All right, let me give them out to the membership, okay? Cadenia's got in touch with me. She has no objections on her end, so I don't think she's on tonight. So for the 30th precinct, we have 7 liquor licenses, which you now heard have no objections by the 3-0. Okay, so I will list them for you. You have the agenda, you'll see them on the agenda.
I will share the agenda again.
Thank you,
Carolyn. There you go. So it looks like there's 2 new applications.
There's
Little
2
Street Lounge.
Right, but there's 2. Most of them are renewals. We have the class change. That's the 2 new ones. Okay, let me go with the ones that's all been for renewals. Okay, that's Chop Parsley, brother. 500 West 146th Street, which you just said no objection. 600 Amsterdam Harlem Group is no objections. Jim Ramen, Hamilton Heights, 3599. The Heights Bar and Grill, no objection. Arts and Craft Beer Parlor, 1133-35 Amsterdam Avenue. Dunn Home, Upper West, 1288 Amsterdam Avenue. That's the 7 for the 3-0. And then you last change, okay, is Four Brothers Food Market and Deli. The class change means it could be one of the two things. Either they're adding a new principle or they're removing a principle. Okay. Doesn't tell you why they're removing or why they're adding them, but that's what class change means. A Sugar Cafe, 500 West 145th Street, is doing the same thing. What they didn't do was send us what the class change was for, and they're required to do so. Okay. So I reached out, but that's what the class change. So are there any objections for the renewals of the 3-0 from the members?
I have some questions. When you say principal, does that mean owner?
It could be the owner or a manager or a co-owner. It could be either or.
Okay, got it. And Four Brothers
Well,
Food.
excuse me, Chair Carolyn,
Yeah.
a principal can't, it wouldn't be the manager.
No,
If a manager is the principal, the principal is basically the ownership, the person who's
Yeah.
owning. So the principal can then add, like if there's a manager that the principal really, feels has been an asset to the organization, then the primary principal could add that individual as a principal.
Yes,
And then,
yeah,
then they would end up with more than one principal. But the primary principal would add that person.
no, which is what I just said. I said either or, because they did not put in what the requirement is why they're making the class change. But according
Right.
to the gentleman that I spoke to, he said they're adding in one spot a person.
Mhm.
That's all he said. The second one did not address the question because I don't think he really understood it. So I tried to explain it to him what a class change means. I gave him all the instructions on what it should be. Is he adding or is he taking away?
Okay.
Last conversation he was adding.
In our general board meeting, remember we had that restaurant that indicated that they were
Yeah, I know that was Bono.
but they were not adding a principal, they were adding a manager.
Right.
And we had
exactly.
talked about that adding a manager is really not a principal change. And it's
No.
not really an organizational change.
Well, according to the SLA, it has to be a class change. And that's what it comes under, class change. It doesn't say organization, it says class change. They give you a list
Okay,
of
but
what it is, of what it is.
so what
So
I'm
when they
just
say-
trying to give clarity for each person is that it's not a class change if they are adding a new manager. It is a class change if they're adding a principal. The managers are not a part of the class.
No, understandable.
Mhm.
No, I understand. But if they don't specifically say what it's for, and they're supposed to,
Okay.
like I said, I reached out to them to tell me exactly what are you
Okay.
changing this class action for.
Okay.
He did not get back to me. I can call him again and explain it to him again so he can explain it to me what is the
Right.
class change for, which I can do
Right.
that tomorrow. Because they're
Okay.
they're required, just when they say a class change, to put in what it's for. They did
Right.
not do that. Either one of the restaurants, they did not do that, which is what I pointed out to Officer Stumer,
Okay.
that they might want to make a call to find out what is the class change for.
And they wouldn't,
Okay.
it's not like,
So I can
they
call
would-
tomorrow.
and
I
it's
can call
not
him again
like,
tomorrow.
with the class change, it's not like they would go from Four Brothers Food Market to, I don't know, like a bar or something.
Right, no, they're
Right.
not changing the,
Okay.
right, they're not changing the name of the park. But I need to know what are they class changing it for? What is the
Got it.
class change? What is coming in or what is going out? That's what I need to know. Is it a principal coming in? Or this is a new person coming in, a new somebody,
Got it.
another owner? So I will, like I said, I will call tomorrow because according to the SLA, this has to be, it's a class change. They're not asking for organization change. That doesn't even come up on the SLA. So when they say a class change, it's usually, like George just said, a change of the name of the person that's the owner or new owner. But again, if they don't send me the paperwork, I don't know. Like I
Okay.
said, that's why I reached out to them. Let me know what your
That makes
class
sense.
change is for.
Okay,
Monique.
and my other question was
Okay.
about the spot on Hamilton Place, the application, the new application, the little lounge. I thought they were already serving alcohol at that location, Little Street Lounge, yeah.
Well, yes, they are.
Yeah, I'm under the
He's,
impression that
he's under renewal.
no, Little Street Lounge is under new application.
Oh, then they're adding something. They're adding another part. Yeah, that's what it is. They're adding another new part. It's a new application, but it doesn't say why. It just says a new application. But this is a new application with a retail permit, which means that new application has not opened yet.
Okay, and Officer Steamer, there's no issues with that location. They're chill.
Yeah, no issues at all. I'll be honest, I've been here for 5 years and I've never had an issue there, so they're good.
That's under the 7. Yeah. Yeah, because I wondered about that because they already had a license. So they're asking for a new one. Either they're adding something in it for a new application with the retail permit that has to be added, is why they have to put a new application in.
Got it.
Yeah. So are there any other issues with the 7?
I think Monique had a question.
Yeah,
Carolyn.
I told her hand. Monique?
Thank you, chairs. My question to Officer Stumer, and good evening, nice to see you, pertains to the recent rash of subway violent incidences that's been quite alarming. I want to say, I thought there was an incident in 145th Street and St. Nicholas. If I'm wrong about that, then please correct me. But with that said, what is being done, at least in our station on 145th? Because I know you guys don't, I think, deal with the one on Broadway, so I won't ask you about that one. But what is being done with St. Nicholas Avenue to make sure it's safe?
So I'm not familiar with any recent incidents on 145th and St. Nicholas. I can definitely look into it and see if I'm missing something. I don't think we have seen anything of significance there. But I will say, so just to kind of, for all that don't know, the NYPD is kind of broken up into zones. So there's patrol officers who cover, the streets and normal houses. There's housing officers that cover NYCHA locations, New York City Housing Authority locations. And then there's transit officers that cover our transit system. So myself at the 30th precinct, we primarily cover the what we call it top side, so above ground. But our transit officers, we supplement them routinely. So on a given day, each officer is actually being required to do at least 4 inspections of the transit stations within our precinct. So within our precinct, we cover 4 stations: the 137th Street Broadway station, the 145th Street and Broadway station, the 145th Street and St. Nicholas station, and the 155th Street and St. Nicholas station. Officers, when they go down there, it's not just a park up top, and hang out. Officers are required to go down to the station, talk with any booth tellers that are there, if there is one, as well as hang out for at least 2 trains to go by, check the trains, make sure the trains are good. So, our officers, as well as being on up top street, also have to be below street. And just to kind of speak about success that we're having, our public safety team on Tuesday was conducting a transit station inspection where they actually observed an individual with a firearm there, and after a brief foot chase, managed to put him in custody and retrieve the firearm. So it's working out well. Where we're seeing positive results from our officers being in the stations, and we're going to continue to be in those stations until we see the decrease in transit crime. And that individual thankfully was held in with bail. So he's actually, ironically enough, he was held on a federal warrant as well. So he is no longer on our streets, with a firearm.
And also,
Th-
me an answer
Yeah,
to
thank
your
you,
question,
Officer. Thank you, Officer Stumer, and your other colleagues for your service.
right?
Thank you, thank you.
Monique, I also can add to that. Yesterday, I was talking with Transit District 3, which is the transit officers from 145th Street. Sergeant Schultz was saying that they're on top of the crime down there. They are working overtime down there. It's about a lot of officers down there. Now you have the National Guard down there, extra police officers down there. You have troopers down there. So you probably will start beginning to see some changes down in the subway. And also with what Officer Summers has said, with the conjunction of all these officers, I think you will start beginning to see some changes. I had asked Sergeant Schultz to attend tonight, but he's probably very busy, so it's why he didn't get on, because he could have explained more to him.
I can't speak for other transit districts, but the transit district that we cover in this area is Transit District 3. And I can say, based off their numbers, that they see very, very few stranger on stranger incidents, which are what a lot we're seeing downtown and other boroughs, where, the victim and perpetrator are two people who don't know each other. We're just straight up strangers. We're not seeing that in Transit District 3, thankfully. I can't speak for the other transit districts. I just know of what we're seeing here, and I know that at least a reassuring fact that the incidents that they're seeing here are typically either like domestic violent incidents that fall out or into that, or either gang, sometimes people who know each other. But the ones that you're seeing on TV are generally what's called stranger on stranger incidents, and thankfully we're not seeing too many in our transit district over here.
That's
Okay,
exactly
good.
what
That's
Sergeant
good.
Schultz said yesterday. That's what
That's
he
good
said
to hear.
yesterday. Right.
Thank you, Carolyn.
You're welcome. To the 2-6. Solomon, could you put that up again? Your agenda? I'm missing my sheet. For the 2-6. Yeah, the 2-6.
Can you see it okay, Carolyn?
Yeah, I can see it. Isn't the 2-6 on there with they like, because I put them all together?
I think the only one for the 2-6 is probably the Heights Bar and Grill.
Okay, yeah. All right, yeah. I kind of broke them up, right? Yeah, all right.
But
So,
I don't think we have anyone on from the 2-6 on, do we?
well, no, Officer Cadenas is not on. Okay. So,
Okay. I did want to thank Officer Stumer for attending the Montefiore Park Association Forum a couple weeks ago. And I did want to go to that coffee with cops session that you had
it was nice.
earlier.
Yeah, it was nice. I was there.
Oh, great. I'm glad
there.
I'm glad we had some representation, Carolyn.
Yeah.
Are
I
you
was there.
guys gonna make that a recurring event?
Yeah, we're gonna try to work with Starbucks to try to at least do it like maybe like once a quarter, once, maybe even like 3 times a year. The Starbucks, I spoke with their district manager, who's all about this program. They love having us there. So we definitely, and obviously, it was a really nice time. Definitely one of the better, times I've had doing outreaches. So we definitely want to make sure that, it's definitely a reoccurring thing. They talked about possibly doing a one at the one on Bradhurst and 145. While technically not my
Okay.
precinct, still pretty close to us. So we definitely want to, get some involvement over there. And, just thank you for the Montefiore Park meeting. It was very productive. We definitely learned a lot about, what needs to be done in that area. I'm sure everybody who's sitting here knows the complexities of that park and, the various stakeholders that play a part in there. That it's not just an NYPD matter. It's everybody who has to come together and fight that park and all its issues. I'm a little biased, but I will say though, Captain Rose did an excellent job there. He is, we keep saying he's new, but even though he's been here for 3 months now, but he is still new to the area. And I think, under his leadership, that park, we're already seeing a nice attack over there.
Yes. And like I
Uh,
said,
uh,
it's been a big change. Michael Palmer was there as well, Solomon,
oh,
and he
good.
spoke on about Montefiore Park. He had some things he wanted to bring to our committee in terms of Montefiore Park, along with the 3-0 precinct, that changes need to be made. And I told him, you know, I had no problem with him coming and letting us know, you know, what help he needs from the committee.
Very well.
Carolyn, I was gonna say, and I'm sorry if I cut anyone off. Thank you, Officer Sumer, for identifying which Starbucks it was at. I'm not, I'm not in the city, or else I'm with my mom in New Jersey, or else I would have gone. So the new Starbucks is very big, and that's great that they did that as a new business. And I hope I can make the next event that you guys set up.
If you like coffee.
Oh, I do. I love iced coffee.
Yeah, I don't drink coffee, so I had tea. But it was nice. It was nice. In the pouring rain, it was nice. Okay, who else is there?
And Officer Stumer, has there been any updates on the billiards hall? I know that there have been some repeated issues there.
A lot
Yes.
of repeated issue.
Let me just quickly, I had the information here. Give me 1 second. The location was referred to the mayor's office, Department of Nightlife. Seeing what they could do and take over. There's a deputy mayor whose name I'm totally blanking out on right now. I'm see if I can pull it up here. I had the information for it. He's kind of leading the charge over there. Sure, it's a program to go help out nightlife locations that are receiving these, you know, quality of life issues. We had met with them a while back. What we are kind of noticing, you know, the calls, you know, it's definitely on the weekends is where we're seeing the peak of it. They're kind of taking over, you know, going over there. But as far as we have right now, we have no real changes as far as updates officially.
And we're also trying to get the DA's office involved. Any other questions for Officer Stuma? Going once, going twice, going 3 times.
Thank you,
None?
Officer.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Officer Stuma.
Ms. Thompson, I sent over the numbers to you. I emailed them to you.
Okay, thanks so much. You can take it down now, Solomon. Agenda. Okay, are there any other issues that want to be brought up? We have the shortest meeting in the community board. I just love it. Brad, did we answer all your?
Y'all really do. We really do. And we gotta get the other committees on this level. Okay. We have we have great in-depth discussions, but we also do it in a timely manner. I don't
But
see
yes,
why
we do.
can't do this.
We always do. Like I said, we didn't come for dinner. We came to do business and we came to leave. You know, but Brad knows that as well too. But Brad, you had anything else you want to bring up?
No. It's just fun to be here again. But yeah, 10 years, believe me, I know that the meetings can go long. So I appreciate it when they don't do that.
Thanks for coming. It's good to see you.
Yeah.
Fireman Somerville, nice meeting you. Hope to see you in person next time.
As well. Look forward to meeting everybody. Thank you for your time.
I'm coming for the seafood.
I got you.
I'll be there too. I
Right.
love seafood.
Everybody's welcome.
Me
I'm
three.
I'm
Me
bringing
4, especially if
bringing
you have crab
April, I'm bringing
cakes.
Monique. We're all coming to eat. When are you opening?
It's projected for the summer. There's no exact date. It depends on how quickly the fabrication of the kiosk is done. So, you know,
So we talking
the
maybe,
contractor's making a lot of progress thus far.
you think maybe the end of May?
I don't think that's soon.
Oh, well, I guess I have to put the seafood on hold.
Don't worry,
Okay.
I'll make an exception for you. I'll make a special delivery just for you, Miss Thompson.
All right. Just let me know when you're ready so I can let the rest of the crew know so we can come.
Sounds like a plan. Looking forward.
Okay.
Yeah, just a
Any
quick
other questions?
quick point on that. He can get a liquor license before the thing is actually up and running, right? Yes, or does it have to
If
be
he
up?
puts a 30-day waiver in,
Yeah.
you know, once we sign it, The license should come next. It should come next, yeah. This is a 30-day waiver, so that process kind of helps push it along, you
Yeah.
know? So, yeah, you'll get a response. You definitely will get a response.
Thank
She'll
you.
get it to me, we'll get it out, okay?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Are there any other questions, issues?
I
Oh,
make
I
a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
thank, I was laughing because I knew April was gonna do that. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Oh, I was
knew
gonna,
she would.
I was gonna
Thank
say
everyone.
unanimous consent. All right.
Right, exactly. I thank everybody
Okay.
for coming tonight. Hope to see you next month in person, okay?
Awesome.
Thank you,
Bye,
Ms.
y'all.
Thompson.
Be well.
Take
Be
care. Have a good
safe.
night.
Bye-bye.
Good night, everyone.
Everybody, take
All
care.
right, good night. Solomon,
welcome.
you gonna do the minutes?
Yes, I'll send them to you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, no
I
problem.
appreciate it. Okay.
Okay.
Good night,
Bye-bye.
everyone. Get home safe, okay?